I'm the reason racism exists.
If you say these words or phrases, you are calling us the N-word.
Develop an intersectional analysis. That means understanding that all these systems of oppression, including racism, sexism, homophobia, trans antagonism, transphobia, all those things do not exist in a vacuum.
I'm so sick and tired of everything being called racist. What was once a word used for very serious actions and crimes is now a buzzword that's thrown out every 2 seconds to cancel someone for either an opinion that they hold, something stupid that they said as a teenager, or it's a black person crying wolf because in their eyes they're viewing everything as racist. And trust me, I used to be the same way. In today's video, we're going to be reacting to a bunch of anti-racist educators, as well as claims people made of things being called racist, which in reality are more than likely not even racist, so we're gonna review all of that. And don't forget, if you like this style of commentary, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow a ton. So without further ado, let's dive right into this.
And this is why they hate blacks in America so much, the white power structure. We're the only non-white people in the country who cannot be sent home. Right. You cannot be deported. Slavery destroyed your cultural, psychological, and intellectual connection to your ancestral homeland. If the Ghanaian get on your nerve, he go back to Ghana. If the Puerto Rican gets on your nerves, he go back to Puerto Rico. If the Afro-Cuban gets on your nerves, he or she go back to Cuba. If the Chinese get on your nerves, send them back to China. If the East Indian gets on your nerves, send them back to India. If the Arab gets on your nerve, send them back to one of the Middle Eastern states. But when American Africans get on your nerves, where do you deport us to?
I'm not American African, I'm American. You keep talking about your ancestral roots and keep going back. Okay, we're all from the same place. We all derive from each other, so how far do you really want to go back? Are you going to stop it at Africa? Or are we all going to go back to the same entity source that created human beings? Like, how far do you want to go back? At that, you can say the same thing to white people who were born here. Because you know who is African? Elon Musk. He's from Africa. He's more African American than me. I'm American. I'm from here. You can't deport me because I'm from here. I'm a citizen. If we're talking about people who immigrated here, what?
Most American Africans are so brainwashed, they think they're American. So you cannot deport them because this is what they identify with most. So in other words, the white man created his own problem, which makes it almost impossible to deport us. So the only way to get rid of us is a systemic system of racial genocide. And that's what they're using.
Do you know how much hoops you got to jump to get to that conclusion? What genocide is going on in Black America besides the self-denigration of our own race and how we treat each other and how much we're killing, looting, and stealing? Let's be real here. But this idea that all of a sudden now I'm brainwashed because I think I'm American just because I was born here. America is a melting pot, and I'm working on another video titled like, is America more of a mosaic or a melting pot? Because I feel like it's turning into more mosaic than everybody blending together into American ideas and values, which I wish that was the case. But rest assured, I can guarantee to you that I am American. And there's white Americans, there's Black Americans, Asian Americans, there's all these different Americans. But at the end of the day, if we did not immigrate here, we're born here, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not brainwashed to think that I'm American.
Everyone was a slave. Everyone. Well, not everyone was a slave. No, everyone was a slave. Okay. We are all descended from slaves. It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
We all came from slavery. It's just a matter of when it happened in the timeline and what we're gonna do to repair that and how soon it was to it. But at the end of the day, everyone's derived from slavery.
That doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who aren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of simply because the color of your skin. What advantage does the color of my skin give me? There's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't. And there's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country.
The legacy of racism that propped up this gay Black man to be a CNN correspondent. The same Black man that's married to a white man but goes on national TV and said that white men are the problem in this country.
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men.
That one? Got it. Are there some things and prejudices that are based upon Black men as a whole? And I've even dealing with my own like racism out and about in public, for sure. When you look at the data and you apply more nuance and context to the racial situations that happen, more often than not, it's very dicey. But when you look at a lot of these racist scenarios, it's like, at what point do we separate something being racist versus something just looking at data? Because when you take into account the amount of crimes that young Black men, I mean ages 15, we'll say 15 to 30, maybe 2 to 3% of the US population, but account upwards to 50% of all the murders and robberies in this nation, there is a problem, genuinely. Because I know in total, like, Black people account for over 50% of all the murders and robberies in this nation, but when you actually boil it down to like the age and the gender, it really shrinks to like 2% of the population, 2 to 3%, which that's just awful. It really is. And that's not at fault of a white man. At what point are black people going to take account for their own actions as a collective? Because obviously not every black person out there doing crime. I'm not committing crime. My black friends are committing crimes. I get it. But there is something to say for when majority of the people who look like me are doing something bad. Am I in the right to be shocked and dismayed when someone looks at me kind of turned? You know? Like, yes, it sucks being profiled. Yes, it sucks being looked at a different way. But when you take into account how we're representing ourselves in the media, how we're representing ourselves in the music, how we're representing ourselves out and about, the lootings, the shootings, the robberies, the murders, and they all look like me, I mean, shit. Can I blame them? I obviously don't like it, but again, it's something that requires so much nuance. And there's a lot of other black people out there, not even just black. There's a lot of people in general who hold this same opinion, but they can't not express this for this whole fear of getting canceled or doxxed. And I have to be honest with you, if you want to prevent yourself from ever being doxxed, not even doxxed in general, but you want to protect your personal identity online, then I highly recommend you check out today's sponsor, Aura. It is genuinely concerning the amount of our private information that is out there on the internet. From people getting doxxed because it's so easy to find someone's address, or the non-stop spam calls because it's so easy to find your phone number, or hell, even the amount of emails that I get because your emails are out there. Something needs to be said for how much our information is out there on the internet, and something needs to be done to take that down. Because the main problem is that these data brokers find this information online and they take that data from you and they sell it. However, with Aura, this all comes to an end. It is a service that protects you and all your information, and honestly, it is the work of a ton of different apps in one. They reach out to the data brokers and have your information removed, which is huge because by law, they're required to take down your information when you request it, but they make it incredibly hard for you to do so. Just let Aura handle all that for you. Not just that, but the spam call protection, identity theft protection, financial fraud protection, it's a password manager, it's a VPN. Literally, it does all of this in one app that is nationally recognized and respected. It's digital protection for everything that matters, and given that my entire life is online, I am more than thankful that Aura has not just my back, but yours too. It's easy to use, it's sleek, and it's honestly the best one-stop shop out there for one low price. So the choice is yours. Either you can continue to be exploited and let people profit off your private information, or you can go to aura.com/Amir, scan the QR code here on the screen, or tap the link below to start your 2-week free trial. Okay, this says racism still exists. I will never attend another Little League parade. What happened?
You see that shit? Look, I'm watching them. What the fuck?
The mom is clearly upset because there's people walking by handing candy out to the kids, and there's 2 black kids sitting in this chair and everybody's walking past them and the black kids are not getting candy. My racist lens, my old me, will say, wow, that's clearly racist. Like, all these white people are skipping past my black babies even though there's a little white girl right next to them getting candy. My context lens, my context and nuance lens, other perspective, I see a very engaged white child not sitting down, very approachable, going up to people or standing out far enough where it's clear, oh, let me give this little girl candy. And I see 2 black kids, but very stone age, like very just laid back in the chair, looking non-approachable. I'm very curious if these black kids would have had the same reaction if they actually stood up out their chair and have their baskets out. If you're going trick-or-treating, you don't just sit there on the lawn and have the people come to you to give you candy. You go up to them, ring the doorbell, and you get the candy. What we see this little girl doing is standing out, she's talking, she's like, okay, I want the candy. Little girl's working, she's hustling. Black people, the little black kids, it's so sad. It's like a clear representation of what's happening now. You got the black kids sitting down, laid back, waiting for a handout. It's so bad. That is so awful. You can't just sit there and wait for a handout, little babies. You got to get up and get to work. Look right next to you. There is someone standing up, putting in the work. And people are like, oh my gosh, this is so racist. I feel so bad for the black kids. This is not a racist situation. I'm sorry. It's not. Because I really don't think they would have had the interaction if the kids were out their seat and looked very approachable and were like, was doing the same thing that the white girl was doing, which is standing up, being approachable, and having a bag out for candy. Them little kids still stoic, just sitting there, back sunk in their chair. I'd walk by them. They look like they don't want to be bothered. What do you expect?
10 ways you say the N-word without saying the N-word. If you use any of these terms or phrases in reference to black people, you are just as racist as the person that actually uses the N-word.
All words require context. If I hear the N-word, especially like not hard, even hard R, with context, it's fine. Historical context, it's fine. A white person can say it if talking about history, like, oh my gosh, yeah, white people used to call black people, It's like, that's fine. And miss me on the GA, like all the people singing it in songs or lyrics, rapping in the car, referring to their friend, They're not racist. Black people set that up. All these songs and in hip hop, black culture set that word up to be used. Context matters. And I'm sorry if I hear a white person say GA referring to a friend or rapping in a song, I don't hear whoosh and whip and chains and I'm thrown back in history and I got to get the bushels of cotton and I got plans with Harriet to go running at 9 p.m. I don't hear any of that. I'm sorry. Like the black people that are like, oh my gosh, I heard the N-word. How weak are you? How weak are you to give agency over your mind and your body and your physical reactions from hearing a word? It's a word that you say all the time, that you hear all the time, that you see all the time. Like, grow up. I'm sorry to grow up. I've never cared about the word. I used to, but when I actually applied the context, I'm like, actually, this is stupid. Like, why am I caring if someone says the word? It's a word. And people are like, oh my gosh, this person's racist. They said the GA. What? Like, let's be real here.
Here are the words: thug, ghetto, welfare queen, lazy, race baiter, race grifter.
Lazy? Calling a black person lazy is equivalent to calling them the N-word. That is absolutely insane. Thug? There are thugs, there's white thugs, there's Hispanic thugs. Like, welfare queen, I mean, there are welfare queens. Like, there are women out there selling them EBT cards. So this...
Threatening, angry, dangerous. Or you say that we're playing the victim or we are a diversity hire.
There's so much to unpack. First off, there's such thing as dangerous black people. Look at the crime data. I've already spoke about it earlier in this video. It is there. It is something that's happening. Saying that isn't calling someone the N-word. Calling someone a diversity hire is not equivalent to calling someone an N-word because there actually are diversity hires. Hello, Kamala Harris, which Joe Biden said, I'm going to pick a woman. That is, by definition, hiring someone for diversity. There are a lot of people out here who, in fact, are diversity hires because these companies are trying to meet their quotas to be racially diverse. This is real stuff.
What you actually mean to say is the N-word. Just stop it. If you say these words or phrases, you are calling us the N-word. If you say these ignorant racist terms or phrases around your children, you're also teaching your children to be racist just like you.
So children are racist for saying someone looks dangerous. And if they so happen to be black too, they might as well just say the N-word.
So I have good news and bad news for you. Here's the bad news. You're not as non-racist as you thought you were, and you're certainly not anti-racist. Here's the good news. You can unlearn all the racist crap you've been taught and reject white supremacist ideologies that you've believed for your entire life. Now, if you're ready to do that and start becoming a part of the solution instead of a part of the problem, go to that link on my profile, sign up for my webinar.
Pause. Does this cost money? Oh, she's race baiting. Oh, she's race baiting. I had no idea. I need to see if this costs money. Oh my gosh. I need to share this. Hold on. Let me set this up. I need to share this. Do y'all see this right now? 5-day challenge, anti-racism school. How much is this? Click. Oh, $50 for what? Mastering the art of communication, politics, race, and racism. Join my anti-racism school is in session. Patreon. What? 25, 50. Book a discovery call, Venmo, purchase a replay, 100. We're done. We're done. You see, black folk can't have nothing. See, and now you're never gonna be real with yourself because your whole income depends on you looking at yourself like a victim and looking at words like thug and gangster and ghetto as the N-word and thinking everyone is racist and that this world and this economy in America is just inherently racist and white supremacy, when in reality you're just letting it keep afloat. Your viewpoint, how you're looking at the world, how you're seeing everything is through a racial lens, and it's never going to go away. You're never going to be something real, worth of value, just an honest, nice human being if your entire livelihood depends on making other people feel less than. Are you kidding me?
My non-black friends have never reached out to me when atrocious things are happening regarding race in this world, and I never even pennied it until today, this evening, when I was watching a video on TikTok of this.
Do your non-black friends check on you when racism is rampant? I'd be damned if one of my bros hit me up, yo, Amir, you good? I know black people out here, like, they going through it. You would get smacked.
white lady who went to a man in the shop that she was in, an Asian man, and she said to him, you know, I'm sorry for all the things that's happening in this country. I just wanted to ask if you're okay. And he was like, thank you for asking if I'm okay, because no one has been asking me that.
If I be damned. I be damned. If I'm sitting in a coffee shop minding my business and a white woman comes up to me with a dead straight face and says to me, are you okay? I know being black in America is rough right now. There's a lot going on. The way I would just look at that woman in disbelief. That is racist. That's actually racist. Like, you're trying so hard to be anti-racist that you're actually being racist. That's not a good thing. I'd be remiss if a white woman ever approached me.
And when I was watching the video, I was like, no one asks me that.
Good.
Like, none of my white friends ask me that ever. And then it's just all dropped in my mind, and I'm like, that's really interesting, you know? I wonder what that experience is like for everybody else. But when I'm thinking about it, those same friends always post when something happens, like, you know, post the trending memes and the things and the awareness.
It's one thing if your non-black friends hit you up for your opinion on black topics and black issues. I love that. I'm all for that. But if you're going to sit here and assume something about me because of the color of my skin, hey, are you good? Like, that George Floyd stuff was crazy. I just want to make sure, like, as a black person, like, you're feeling okay mentally. I have nothing to do with George Floyd. Me and George Floyd both have the same kind of melanin. We're both brown, but I'm sorry, I'm not someone that's punching pregnant women, holding guns to their faces, doing fentanyl, and resisting arrest. That's never gonna be me. I'm sorry.
Things and the awareness, but never once have like checked in on me. And I am checking in on all of my black and brown friends, all of my Muslim friends, which they are not all black and brown. I'm the one going and sending all the messages and checking in and making sure everyone feels good, you know, the people who I know who are going through those things.
I've never, not once in my life, hit one of my black friends up. Yo, you good? For what? We're in America. Why do you want people to check in on you based off the color of your skin?
5 ways to be a better anti-racist. 1, educate yourself on the history and legacy of racism. I highly recommend the video series Race, The Power of an Illusion as a starting point.
Okay, I like that. Point 1, learn about race. Cool. But even then, when you're learning about race, are you learning about race from a nuanced perspective and giving a clear landscape of what's going on regarding race relations? Or are you giving something like critical race theory and just saying, you know, black people will with me, black people down, help black people, help black people? Or are you going to give the true stories?
2, begin the tough work of uncovering your own hidden racial biases. Harvard has an online implicit bias test that will really help with that.
Biases don't exist for no reason. Prejudices don't exist for no reason. Jokes don't exist for no reasons. Everything has a reason or context behind it. So when it comes to biases and people's viewpoints on different races, there's more nuance to the story at play, especially when you take into account, like I said before, the data and the representation of the black people in America. When I'm looking at the drug dealers and the gangbangers, majority one race. When I'm looking at the murders, majority one race. When I look at the people acting a fool in the roads, driving and zooming through in the black tinted Nissan Altimas, it's typically one race. When I'm looking at the Dodge Chargers in the shootings, and every black club in Nashville is gone. Why? Why are all the black clubs gone? Is there a correlation between all the black clubs that's been shot up? You have to pay attention to how that race acts. Come on now.
3, expand beyond the good person, bad person binary when it comes to racism. You just think because you're a good person, you can't have racist ideas, you are on the wrong track. Follow content creators of color. Give support to these pages and allow those perspectives to help you reprogram your own thoughts.
Okay, does that include me? Does that include Candace Owens? Does that include Amla Ekmanobi? Does that include black content creators who have their own thoughts too? Because again, if you're going to want to talk about deconstructing racism, acknowledge that not all black people think the same and that we're not a monolithic box. Acknowledge that there are black people who speak out against the very things you're talking about. So does my voice matter to you? Very curious.
And 5, develop an intersectional analysis. That means understanding that all these systems of oppression, including racism, sexism, homophobia, trans antagonism, transphobia, all those things do not exist in a vacuum, which means we need to be more sensitive towards people who occupy multiple of those identities.
Be more sensitive as a person climbs up the oppressed ladder. I used to think that way. Oh my gosh, I'm black and I'm gay. Oh, if you're a black woman in America, you got it down bad. Oh, if you're a black gay woman, you got it down bad. Can we stop? Like, it does baffle me how many people try so hard to not be racist, try so hard to promote and push other people to not be racist by inherently being racist.
I'm the reason racism exists. Yep, that's right. Me, Rob. I'm the reason. Rob, if you just stop talking about this, if everybody would just stop talking about it, racism would go away. You keep bringing it up. It sounds like a toddler. It sounds like somebody hiding in a closet. My black friends aren't having it go away because nobody's talking about it. The more people that talk about it, the better. There need to be 10,000 of me.
Heck no. No. We don't even need you. What is this man talking about?
You know, black people weren't just dropped here from another planet and somehow racism already existed and they were and nobody else had anything to do with that, and no white person has any responsibility here. It's foolishness. We white people built this stuff and we maintain it. And the pain that black people experience is pain that we dish out.
This was supposed to be the last video, but I done fell down a rabbit hole of this man's TikTok page. Mr. Rob, no one's denying the things that black people have gone through. What we are denying is that you did something. Physically you. Maybe it was your great-great-great-great-grandpappy, but it wasn't you. And I am not going through what my great-great-grandpappy went through. I'm not. They're under me. And I'm above them. I'm their dream, okay? We're moving on. This attitude, like your captain saved the hoe, gonna save save the black man and let them know that they're all. Is he charging for a course? He has a website. Y'all have to see this. Ain't no way.
Welcome to Racial Beginners. I'm Rob. This is an on-ramp for people who want to learn about race in America. I grew up, we didn't talk about race at my dinner table. If that was you, this is the place to learn and begin. Let's walk.
Ain't no way. Okay, it's a free class. We currently have no income. Our funding is completely out of pocket. Our hope is to eventually have income and use the profits to support the black community through gifts to black owned organizations, nonprofits, and leaders. We are aware that making money off black people's pain is unacceptable. We're also aware that many white people haven't found a safe starting point to begin their racial journey. I just did that video talking about the Matt Walsh movie, Am I Racist? And clearly this is real. It is evident as we've gone through this video that there are a lot of people that are profiting off the plight of black Americans. It's not just like we've seen in the movie Am I Racist? It is actual real stuff, real content creators, whether they're black or white apparently, that are literally grifting. People say I'm a grifter for just sharing my opinion. These people are literally grifting off of the plight of black people. We learned that calling someone ghetto is equivalent to calling someone the N-word. Calling someone, what'd that woman say? She had a list of just very generic basic words equivalent to saying the N-word. We also saw that, you know, if you have two black kids who are laid back in their seats sitting like this, that they don't get approached. Duh. Y'all, if anything, what we're learning is that this is an actual real thing that's going on. There's actually real people out there that view themselves as the most decrepit victim possible. And it's unfortunate because as a black man in America, it's the best country to be in. I'm free and I'm fully aware of everything that my ancestors have gone through to this point. I'm very aware that every 40 years going back has been different for black Americans. And right now we are at the apex of like, this is like the best time to be black in America. Maybe not even the best. Maybe the next generation will be the best because right now, legally, it's amazing. It's great. But socially, it is annoying because of like the racial tensions in the United States that are there for no reason. And then you add on the racial tensions, but again, you add on how my own race is acting. And you look at the data of how blacks are acting in the streets. We'll talk about black crime in another video, so be sure to subscribe. I appreciate the growth of the channel a ton. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for supporting the content. Thank you to my Patreon members for being here, liking, subscribing. It means the world to have y'all here. And you know, like I say at the end of every video, I hope that you're going out there becoming the best version of yourself, and you do know and trust that you can be anything you put your mind to. You just have to put in the work. You have to go after it, and you cannot, especially if you're a black person watching this still, you cannot put yourself in a victim's shoes. Victims don't work. Victims don't go out there and get the bag, okay? Coming from someone that used to be homeless, coming from someone who grew up without a father, coming from someone who grew up with an emotionally unavailable mother, I'm every stereotype, I'm every statistic to be out there in the streets gangbanging, but I'm not, because of my own actions that I have set forth for myself, my own goals and dreams that I set forth for myself, my own goals and dreams that I'm currently getting, because I put in the work. So put in the work. I like having items to hold. Put in the work and do what you need to do to go out there and be like your dream self. So with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next video very soon. Love you. Bye.